Do you feel like the law of attraction just isn't quite working for you? Well, here's the thing. It is working, just not the way you want. So if you stick with me, I'll show you exactly what I mean and why it's happening and how to actually turn it around so you can finally start seeing the results that you're trying to manifest. So let's go ahead and get into it. There's 3 things that I want to go over as to why it's not working for you. So let's get into the first one. The first reason is it actually is working for you, but it's not necessarily working in your favor. You see, the law of attraction is always working. And the reason why I say that it's always working is because everything is based off of spiritual law. And 2 of those spiritual laws are the law of vibration and the law of cause and effect. So if you look at this diagram of the mind and the body and how we're connected, the law of attraction is always reacting to how we're acting. And that's what's producing our results, okay? It's always working. There's a energy, a flow of energy, of thought energy that's coming in and through you. And we create thoughts out of that energy. Most people think that whatever picture we paint on our conscious mind, that's what we're gonna produce. But what we don't realize is that in our conscious mind, we only hold 5% of the power. So that's why we can have so many different thoughts, one right after the other, and not manifested those, but some yes, some no. Well, the reason why is because we have to look beneath the surface, and we have to look at the 95% of you, which is your subconscious mind. And here, you have something called your paradigm. Your paradigm is basically like your belief system. It's all your habits. It's all your experiences that you've had throughout your life. And it's where your programming lives. So your programming is what's controlling the vibration of your body. Remember the law of vibration? So depending on how you're vibrating, if you're vibrating negative, you're gonna be acting negative. You're gonna get reactions that are in harmony. You're gonna probably attract negative situations that probably wouldn't happen to most people are all of a sudden happening to you. Why? Because you're attracting them. Why? Because of your programming. So the law of attraction is always working. However, we're not always manifesting the things that we want, our conscious wants, but we're always manifesting our current conditioning, our current programming, okay? So that's the second thing that I wanted to talk about, is that what you are manifesting is what's inside of your mental program. So if you think about it, our physical results are a direct reflection of what we have inside of our paradigm, inside of our subconscious programming, okay? And most people try to change their results by changing their actions, but the reason why that doesn't work most of the time, or why the results are temporary, is because that programming is still in control. I want you to think of this. You go out and you start to go on a run, and you decide that you're gonna start running every single day. Well, that's a decision you have to make every single day. And if you don't make that decision, the 95% is gonna come up and it's gonna cause you to start thinking in a way that's gonna get you to not go run. For example, if you decide to go run on day 1, then you keep doing it every day until day 5. Day 6, you probably feel demotivated. Why? Well, you're vibrating, you feel because your programming created a thought of, you know what, I don't feel like going to go run today. And you start looking at all the things around your life of why that would be true. Oh, maybe it's raining, maybe it's too cold, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But now you're thinking in a negative way. And that negative is gonna cause you to feel negative, right? So instead, what you're gonna do now, your paradigm from there is gonna cause you to think something positive about not doing it. Oh, well, you know what? If you don't do it, you'll actually be able to chill at home. You're about to be able to stay warm in your blankets. And that's gonna cause you to feel positive, and that's gonna produce an action. Even though it makes you feel positive, yeah, you're gonna feel good and you're not gonna go out there and work out because it's too cold. You're actually creating a negative because that is not gonna take you to your goal. It's not gonna be in harmony with your commitment. And on top of that, because you weren't committed to your word, now you're destroying, you're crumbling your self-image. And remember, our self-image sets the boundary of our achievement. If our self-image is low, that's all we can achieve. And if we ever want to change what we achieve, we have to change what's in here, our self-image, right? So that's very important. The law of attraction is always working. It's always, number two, it's always manifesting what's inside of our paradigm. Now, number three is we have to trust in a different universal law called the law of growth, and then use cause and effect at the same time. Here's what I mean. So here we have your mind. Here are your results. Okay. The way results are created is what we have inside of our subconscious, okay? Whatever we have inside of there, whatever ideas that we have in our subconscious, that is what is going to be producing the result. So what we want to do when we want to use the law of attraction in our favor is now we want to start focusing on, okay, if my conscious mind thoughts, my conscious mind wants are not what's going to be manifested, but instead my subconscious mind ideas, what I have to do is I have to create a conscious mind want. So let's say in this case, you want to lose 20 pounds. Well, you have to create a vision, a identity of the person who's already 20 pounds lighter. What is that person doing? What does that person feel like? What does that person think? How does that person think? What are their habits? How do they make decisions? What do they make a decision based on? Candy, or are they making decisions based on fruit? Are they making healthy decisions? All that stuff, you want to write it down and then you want to have it there. Now it's in your conscious mind. From there, what you want to do is you want to put that idea into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is like very, very fertile soil, and we put ideas in there all the time, and they grow into trees, and those trees produce fruit, and that fruit is the results in our life, right? That's how the law of attraction works. But everything takes time. It's a law. Everything's a spiritual seed, okay? And the thoughts that we put inside of the subconscious mind, those are spiritual seeds that we, with repetition, add water. We give it focus, we give it attention. It grows, we start producing habits out of it, and now we cause reactions from the universe, and it produces certain results, okay? So if you're trying to lose 20 pounds, what you want to do is you want to take that vision and you want to plant it into the subconscious mind. And you want to plant it over and over and over and over again, because there's two ways to change the programming in the subconscious: constant space repetition and emotional impact. So in this case, we're going to use constant space repetition because that's what we can take control of. So we plant that idea over and over and over and over and over again until one day your subconscious mind says, okay, I'll take that idea that you just planted in here. I'll take it. And what it does is it produces a vibration, a feeling in my body, and it produces inspiration, ideas that you could do, and you get emotionally involved with those ideas because they're now in harmony with the idea in the subconscious. And now what happens is you shoot that idea out into the universe responds, you now are taking action on that idea, right? Because subconscious is controlling your body, your central nervous system, and because you're producing an action on the physical, you're getting a reaction from the non-physical, and that is how the law of attraction works. It starts first with our intention, and then from there, we plant it. Then we get emotionally involved with it, and we produce a reaction. We start attracting ideas, people, circumstances to us that start lining up. Plus, it moves us into inspiration and causes us to move into action, causes a reaction, and that produces a result, right? But here's the problem, okay? The problem is, that sounds good, but the work starts with discipline. The work starts with commitment. See, this isn't gonna happen overnight. There's a law of growth, like I was saying. And we have to work in harmony with that law, because there is not a single seed that can be planted from one day to the other, grow large, tall, and bear fruit. Why? Because there is a process, a spiritual process that it has to go through, and physical. So our ideas work the exact same way. So if we start seeing ourselves like the spiritual farmers that we are, and we're planting seeds all the time in our spiritual garden called the subconscious mind, we'll realize that when we start planting the seeds that we really want, and we start ripping out the weeds that they put into our fertile soil when we were kids, guess what's going to happen? You are going to start changing actions. You're going to start attracting different things to you. Now you're going to be using the law of attraction that you've always been using in harmony with you and with what you want. That's how it works, okay? It's always working, but now that you know, you can take control of it. Hey, by the way, if this clicked with you and you want to explore more, I've added some links below that you can find. You can find my website, my Instagram, my on-demand class about overcoming fear and doubt. and even my podcast if you want to keep the conversation going. And if you're feeling ready to take the next step, you can actually find a link to schedule a call. So take a look and see what feels right for you. Until then, keep thinking truth regardless of appearances.